Hi, I'm Jamie, and one of the things I look forward to most every morning is a cappuccino made by Braun. He started 14 years ago when our daughter was born, and we needed a pick-me-up in the mornings. And he started making one with one we had just gotten as a gift, thinking we'd never use it. And for the past 14 years, we've had one almost every morning.
What we do is make a macchiato-style cappuccino. We take warmed milk and actually froth it in the mug on the nozzle on the cappuccino maker. And then we pour the coffee through, and that's what macchiato means, is when you pour the coffee through. I've probably gone through about 5 cappuccino makers because they're under a lot of pressure, and eventually the little pipes fail and you get kind of a water puddle on your counter. You know it's done. So anytime I see one at a thrift store, I buy it. Right now I have 3. You can still get this one, Mr. Coffee. You can get it at Walmart for about 40 bucks. I get these little Krups. Braun also makes a little one that's a lot like this, and they're kind of a passive system. They build up steam pressure. You open a valve, and that same pressure is also making the coffee while it's making your foam. I've not had good luck with the cappuccino makers that have a separate pump to steam your milk, because you just don't get enough pressure, and it's a lot like a little kid blowing through a straw in his milk glass. It makes bubbles, but it doesn't make good foam. Now maybe if you spend about $3,000 on a professional model cappuccino maker like they have in coffee bars, you could probably get a pump that would give you good foam.
Okay, when I make a cappuccino, I always start with cleaning the machine, which means you take this little metal basket out, which will have grounds from the last time you made it. You dump them out, you wash it out, you make sure that everything is clean. You can't clean right after you've made a cappuccino because everything is too hot, so I just let it sit and I clean it the next morning before I make one. The first thing you want to do is take finely ground coffee. I ground this using just a cheap grinder. I ground it fine. You gently pack it into the basket. When you're done, you want it slightly domed over the top of the basket and gently packed down, because as the steam goes against it, it's going to build your pressure to foam your milk. So if it's not packed tight enough, the water goes through too easily and you don't get very good steam. Okay, next step, you put it into the machine. I set this under here because sometimes grounds fall out. There's a little mark. Just lift it, push it into place and tighten it all the way around. Next, you're going to add your water. I'm making 2 double cappuccinos, so I'm going to have enough liquid. If you can see here, here's the 4 line, and I have it filled just up to the silver band there, because some of that's going to go for steam, and then I want basically 4 shots of espresso by the time I'm done. You tighten the lid firmly. There's a safety valve that will let, if steam builds up to a dangerous level, it will let it out. But you want the most pressure you can get, so be sure that that is firmly tightened. And go ahead and turn it on. Put the top on your carafe and put it in there. Now we're going to want to put milk in our cups while this is starting. You want just enough milk so that when you hold it up under the nozzle will just go into the milk. On these cups, it's about half a cup. Tall, deep cups are a little easier to get good foam. We like to have our cappuccinos hot, so here's where I cheat compared to what a regular barista would do, and I take the milk and I microwave each cup for about 30 seconds. Okay, I've been microwaving the milk while the steam is building up and the first little bit of coffee is coming out in the carafe. You generally have plenty of time. I used to on different cups, I would microwave them for 40 seconds each, and you will have a little bit of spare time. But if you do this all at once, the whole process goes more quickly rather than waiting, microwaving, and then starting the maker. Okay, in the next step, we're going to make our steam in the milk, and what we're watching for, we're waiting, I don't know if you can see it, but waiting for about half the coffee to get into the carafe. I'm waiting for the coffee to get up to the number 2 line. Okay, we're at the line, so then I take the cup, tilt it slightly, and start letting steam in to foam the milk. And you don't want to bury the nozzle in the milk, so as it makes foam, you gradually lower the cup. You want to get nice, firm foam. But you don't want it too full because you got to have room for the coffee. So now see, we're on the last few seconds of steam here. This is perfect because this is the best pressure. And see, actually on my second cup I'm getting tighter foam with smaller bubbles. Just right up to the top. And then as soon as that one's done, without burning your knuckles, take the little rubber snorkel off. I toss it in the sink and I immediately wipe this down because milk will bake on there and will get really, really difficult to clean. She likes to have chocolate in her cappuccino macchiato, but I just like the regular taste of coffee, so I don't put any in mine. A little swirl of chocolate. And then you notice, I don't know if you can see the light, that the machine is still on. It's okay for it to be on for a little bit while you're doing this, just to make sure that all the coffees come through. And I set sugar on top of the foam. It just rests on top of the foam. When you have good firm foam, the sugar should just sit on top of it. Now here's the macchiato part. Shut the machine off. Take your coffee and you pour it through the foam. You have to look at how much coffee each person gets because you got to be fair.
And that's how I get my cappuccino every morning. And if you come to our house, he'll make you one too.
Actually, I can only make 2 at a time, so.
Well,